for watching the New Modelers Army channel. I'm Dave. So for my first build I decided to go with Tamiya's classic 1/35 scale Willys MB Jeep quarter ton 4x4 truck. Now the Jeep has to be one of the most iconic vehicles of the Second World War, with over 500,000 of these being produced. Should be a simple build and has a simple paint scheme. Seemingly every model store I went to had a copy of this on the shelf, and it was under $20, so I thought it'd be a good place to start. Let's see what we can get inside this box. So first off we have the main body of the Jeep with the classic grille. First sprue has more body parts, chassis, engine, and a separately bagged clear parts for the windshield and the headlights. Second sprue here has wheels, weapons, the main figure, some more exterior parts including the gas can and the Pioneer kit. We have the decals and the instructions. And Tamiya's instructions are very good. They usually give you a good description of the vehicle. They have a list of all the paints with the appropriate Tamiya codes, the tools you'll need, and the steps are very detailed. 13 steps in all for the build, and there are 5 different versions to build from. So that's what you get inside the box. Let's get this kit started. After looking at the instructions, I've decided to build this kit into modules. Modularizing this kit will help me better to prime and paint it and put it together easier later on. So I'm going to build the sub-assembly, then the bodywork with most of the exterior pieces, wheels, will all be built into separate little modules and then primed. So to start off with, step 1, it's the engine assembly, which is then going to attach to the chassis along with the springs, and then that's where I'll stop it. I cut the pieces off the kit with the sprue cutter, but to clean it up really well I'm going to have to go back with a knife and a sanding stick. Even though most of this won't be seen, being that it's under the vehicle, I want to do a good job as I can. These sanding sticks are really good. I start with a medium and then I'm working my way up to a fine or an extra fine, and then I can buff it up. So if I was going to make this vehicle like it saw a lot of combat, saw a lot of mud and dirt, I might not have to do hardly any of this. I can just leave some of this roughness on there. It's actually going to help with the presentation of the vehicle later on. What I want to do is make this vehicle almost look like it just came off the factory floor onto a ship bound for old England, and then handed out to a GI who drove it onto a ship and then took it to Normandy. So there's not going to be much weathering on this kit. So to glue it, I'm going to be using Tamiya's extra thin glue, or should I say cement. This is Tamiya's cement. It's a little thicker. This is quite thin and it has a very small brush. Cement's not like super glue. I have super glue. Some super glue in here. Cement it more melts it with a little bit of pressure. It really comes together quite nicely. Super glue, you can use it for, you still use it for modeling. I do. But I don't use it as much as you'll see me use this, especially for smaller pieces. The super glue can be quite messy, whereas the thin cement will go exactly where I want it. There it is, step 1 assembly complete. You can hardly see it being that it's a small piece, but there is a very thin mold seam. I'm probably being too picky by sanding it down, but you know what, I'm just going to do it this. Doesn't take a few seconds to get it done. Nobody will probably ever know it's there but me, but at least I know I did it. So here's the first sub-assembly. This module is going to be step 1, 2 and 3. It's the chassis, suspension, drivetrain and engine. The instructions say attach the exhaust, but since the exhaust is going to be painted a different color, I'm going to leave that separate. So when I come to paint and prime them, you'll see it's just easier to do it this way. So here's the primed piece. I've actually added the bumper and the hook for pulling a trailer, because they're all going to get painted the same color. So now on to the next piece. So the instructions say to assemble most of the interior parts for the vehicle. I'm not going to assemble the radiator, that's going to be a different sub-assembly because it has several different colors including the clear headlights. So that'll come after I've painted the body of the vehicle. I will though add some of the exterior parts, the stick shift, the firewall and parts for the seats. I won't add the fire extinguisher just yet. Let's see where this goes. That goes in there quite nicely. As you can see, I've completed most of the steps of step 4. Bulkhead, inner controls, spare tire mount, but I've also added a few of the steps of step 10, like the handles. And I added the steering wheel. So this is this module complete, it's ready for paint. I've also completed the tires and wheels. The one with the notch is the spare tire. Seats are ready to be painted. Gas can, detail for the engine, windshield and the radiator. I sprayed them all with Tamiya's surface primer. I'll show you how I did that next with the hood. So here's my portable spray booth. It's kind of small and noisy, but it does a pretty good job. On the turntable I have a piece of tape. I'm going to put the hood on the tape to stop it get blown away. Now that's dry, I'm just going to flip it over. I just put the pieces on, they're not glued. Here is the hood that we just sprayed. Almost ready for the next stage. Tamiya's Jeep model is such a great kit. It's so simple, but yet has a lot of detail. It comes together really nicely, and it's going to look great, just like the real thing. I've primed also some of the smaller pieces, such as the Pioneer kit and the mirror. Now I'm ready to add some paint. See you in the next episode.